Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. It is Friday, 11 a.m. It is the 17th of November, and we are back. It is almost the weekend. It's Friday. Whether you finish for the week or not, we're going to try and wrap up what's happened at the end of this week and try and give you a lowdown on where the markets are and what everything's up to. So we're going to go through the prices in the last 24 hours. We're going to look at what people have had to say about Bitcoin and the impending bull run. We're going to look at CoinShares signing an exclusive agreement with who for an ETF. We're going to look at the ETH rally. Has it finished or is it going to carry on? Casper, we haven't mentioned on this channel before in great detail, so we're going to go through Casper. It's had an almighty run up. Is it time to take profits? We're going to have a look and let you know. As I mentioned yesterday, AVAX has signed a very big deal. We're going to go through that and who that is with. And then we're going to look at cash grab games. That's the question that was posed. Are the Web3 games that are being produced at the minute, are they being produced to bring gamers to blockchain, or are they just being produced to make a profit? And then if we have any time, we are going to go through a quiz at the end of the show. It's a Friday. I'd like to get to that because we haven't really had a long quiz for a few days. Now, before we go any further, I am just going to drop some boxes. I think there is one that is active here, which there is, which is nice to see that the chat seems to be more than normal. But as Rick pointed out yesterday, the chat seems to be okay until I actually start talking, and then all of a sudden we just get absolutely inundated with spam bots. So let's see if we can hold the chat up for a little while. Now I just need to go and log in to another platform, and then we're going to get on with the markets. So first of all, this is a two-way stream. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, drop a comment into chat. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know if you're a new visitor to the stream. Let me know if you've been here before. It's important. We've not had, because of the spam, we've not had the same interactions that we've been having for the last few weeks, and that is a bit of a shame, and I want to get back to that. So if you are here, say hello and I will give you a shout out. I'm just going to drop a red envelope before we start. It doesn't seem to work properly if I drop the red envelope during before the stream, so I have to do it during. So if you bear with me for 1 second, I'm going to try and drop a box there. Let's see if this works now, and then we'll get on with the show. I'm in no rush today. It is a Friday. Let's see if this works. That doesn't work. 1 minute. Let me get this up and running. Try again. Okay, perfect. Right, we're off to a good start. So I've managed to drop a red envelope. We have red boxes. Everything is good to go. Let's crack on with the markets. So yesterday I was talking about how Bitcoin had broken out of the channel that I had created, and I was saying, you know, maybe this has now been invalidated. Now we're above it. We're above 37,000 again for the second time, and maybe my channel isn't going to hold. And then lo and behold, what happened yesterday was we came straight back down. Now, I'm not going to zoom in too far, but suffice to say that that dip brought us all the way down to just above the channel. So this channel I've had, and we're still in it. So I've gone back to having this channel here. A lot of people are only showing you the bottom line, but there is a top line, and that top line at the minute is coming in at 37,500. The bottom is 35,500. So there's a $2,000 range. And it's kind of one of those things where, you know, we don't do 16 or 17 different indicators. We look at a few things. We look at the RSI. We look at the fib levels. We are sitting directly underneath this fib level here, which is exactly 36,500. Exactly 36,500. So we're almost there. But anyway, that was just an aside. So Bitcoin's down 3%. The market in total is down just under 4%. 1.38 trillion market cap. The volume, 71.75 billion, up 8%. Bitcoin dominance is still over 51%. ETH hasn't really changed. Now, this is where we expect to see probably a little bit of a bloodbath today. I'm not expecting too many gainers. Yearn, Mantle, Dogecoin, Celestia, Monero. We covered Doge and Celestia. I'm expecting Doge to have a good run. I do think that 10 and 12 cents for Doge are good prices, or good targets, should I say, for Doge. Celestia, I've been advising people to take profits on this because we're up 210%. If you've been buying this coin at $2, $2.50, you should be looking at taking some profits. And everything is down. Remember what I was saying about FTX token? It's a zombie token. It's not currently attached to anything. It massively pumped up. It is coming back down again. 15.75%. It's down. Solana has gone back under $60. It's at 57, just under 57.50. Injective, Ordinals, Gas, Lido, Chainlink is down a little bit, and Conflux. So we've had a few losers, but I think the one takeaway from this is that you shouldn't worry too much about these kind of price actions. We had the same thing here. You know, we had the dip pretty much down to the same level. We came straight back up. We've dipped down to the same level. Are we gonna come back up to 37,500 again today? 37,000. We'll have to wait and see. But it's something I wouldn't worry too much about. On the grand scheme of things, when you zoom out and you see where we've come from, September the 12th, we're at 25,000. If we go further back, April, we were at $16,000. So when you're looking at short-term price action, it can skew the direction that you think Bitcoin is going to go in. And ever since the start of this year, we've done nothing but move up. Not necessarily in a straight line, of course, but we've moved up. So this is January. 1 second. So this is the price on January the... where are we? January the 1st. That's the direction that Bitcoin is going in. And no matter how you look at it, we've had some time above, some time above, some time above. We've come below, and now we're back above that line. So it's nothing to worry about. Obviously, if you've just bought Bitcoin at $37,500 and you think you've made a terrible mistake, you really haven't. My target for Bitcoin is 42,000-ish, which kind of brings us back into this area here, which we were at the start of last year. So don't worry if you've just bought Bitcoin at 37.5. Don't worry too much about it. We are going to move back up. It's just one of those things. We're going to have the shorts are going to get liquidated. The longs are going to get liquidated. The whales watch how over leveraged each one of those is and plays it out accordingly. Any bit of news that comes out and they'll dump the price or they'll pump the price. That's just the way it is. So try and zoom out, especially if you start to worry. And if you're DCAing in, this is what I was saying about dollar cost averaging in. You might be able to catch these dips every week. Instead of buying all of your Bitcoin, for example, in one go, you buy it in chunks. So buy 10% a week between now and January. So that way you can catch any of these short-term price movements. And hopefully you will end up with a reasonable average price for Bitcoin. Now we're going to have a look at the news because I don't want to do too much on the charts today. I'd rather just get through some news, see what people have had to say. Right. Good morning, Tariq. Hello. Welcome to the stream. I can see the spam seems to have calmed down today. I can read comments. Thank you for coming. Let me update the menu. So, Bitcoin entree. It's not a bull market, just an appetizer, says crypto analysts. While enthusiasm brews within the crypto community regarding recent crypto market price shifts, crypto analysts assert that these movements merely serve as a taster for a potential bull market. Really? Miles Dosha and Lady of Crypto took to their respective accounts to remind their larger followings that the current crypto sentiment isn't indicative of a bull market. You think this is a move? This is what a real move looks like. What we're experiencing now is just an appetizer. This is not the bull market. This is an appetizer. Well, you know what? This is the pre-bull run. They are kind of stating the obvious. Now, what I've been saying for quite a few weeks now is something very simple. Is when we're in the beginning of a bull run, nearly everybody on Twitter is going to become an expert on price action and crypto and the Bitcoin, Ethereum prices. They're going to become experts because between now and November 2025, in general, the price is just going to go up. That's the simple fact of life. So what you're going to find is you're going to find people saying we're going to hit $50,000, and then we hit $50,000, and they are, you know, that they are the next crypto genius. And to make these statements on Twitter is, I suppose, it's a good thing for people that are new to crypto to make these comments, because we are before the bull run really kicks off. But I wouldn't go so far as to say this isn't a bull run, as in this isn't the beginnings of the bull run. We've gone from 16,000 to 36,000. We've gone up $20,000. I don't know what their price predictions are, but we're $20,000 better off than we were in January. Now, if we are $20,000 better off from here in April at the halving, that will put us at $56,000. I'm not saying we're going to go to 56,000, I'm just saying these moves have been quite dramatic because we've come from the bottom of the bear market to $36,000 in the year before the halving. So that's bullish news, and that is technically the start of the bull run. It's the recovery from the bear market. It has been an accumulation area for the last 10 months. But now we're at the beginning, and it's all well and good saying you think this is the bull market, you just wait. Well, we've gone up $20,000. It's going to take an awful lot more money to get us from where we are to $60,000. It's not just going to take another few $100 billion into crypto. It's going to take an awful lot more. However, I will agree that we are not in the actual flesh and bones of the bull market yet. We are still some way to go. So I like to bring up those kind of comments because sometimes I like to agree with them and sometimes I don't. Now this is really bullish news. So CoinShares, quite a well-known company for buying stocks and shares. They have bought the rights to the Valkyrie crypto ETF unit. So we're at the point now where we've got the ETF approvals around the corner. It's not going to be today. It's not going to be. I think the deadline was the 17th, which is today. It's not going to be the 17th. It's more than likely going to be January now. So when it happens in January, we're at the point where the tickers are being added to the NASDAQ exchange. CoinShares are signing deals for the exclusive rights to the Valkyrie ETF. None of these things are going to happen unless the ETF is approved. So don't listen to what they're saying, watch what they're doing. This is the same thing with banks. Look at HSBC. HSBC are blocking people from buying crypto. And on the other hand, they're digitizing gold. They are creating crypto products for their clients. Do what they're doing, not what they're saying. So in this instance, this is amazing news. CoinShares secures the exclusive option to acquire the Valkyrie funds, the exchange-traded fund unit of its US states competitor Valkyrie Investments, which includes the Bitcoin ETF. This is great news. It will help capitalize on what is currently a fragmented global ETF market. Now, this is something else which, at the minute, what we have is we have ETFs in Canada, ETFs in Europe, ETFs in Hong Kong, ETFs in Singapore. What we really want is we want a Vanguard Bitcoin ETF that is available in Europe, Africa, Asia, North America, South America. That's what we want. We don't want 150 different ETFs, because the ETFs we've got are small fry. I think they work out at $10 billion. It's nothing. So what we want is we want 7 or 8 major players to have a global ETF fund. Obviously, it needs to have local legislation, it needs to be approved, but you need to be able to buy these funds wherever you are. And that's, I think, where things like Grayscale Trust has been so important in the last couple of years. You've been able to buy that. If you're in the UK, if you're in Europe, you can hold Grayscale Trust stock, which gives you direct exposure to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. This is what we need from the ETF markets. The two crypto-centric firms also agreed on a brand licensing term where the CoinShares name would be used in future S1 filings used to register a securities offering. If the SEC approves, Valkyrie plans to incorporate the CoinShares name into the ETF. This is fantastic news. So this is the kind of thing we want to see. We want to see these big players starting to look at how they're going to actually operate this. CoinShares is now looking at the market and saying, you know what, it's great we're going to have these ETFs in America, but we need to kind of clean up the rest of Europe, the rest of the world basically, with these bigger ETFs, because although each one may or may not be necessarily available in every country, I can buy an American ETF as part of my portfolio in the UK. If that's the case in Europe and Asia, then CoinShares simply has to go out and promote that in its local jurisdictions. So huge news, really positive news. We've gone over the Bitcoin chart. We don't need to do that again. Suffice to say that the range we're in, as long as we stay above 35,500, we are good within this channel, and the top of that range is 37,500. So potentially we could see some of this price action over the next couple of weeks. We'll have to wait and see. We could have a retracement today or Monday if the ETF delay is announced. And I think today is the deadline, so we could come down a little bit more. Potentially, the drop we had yesterday was because of, partially because of that news. So we'll just have to wait and see. But as I say, I'm not doing too many charts today. I want to get through the news. It's a Friday. We should relax a little bit more. So let's move on to Ethereum. Now, Ethereum, I was saying yesterday, it looks like it's running out of steam. If you look at the chart, which I will do in a minute, it looks like the buy the rumor, sell the news type of chart that we had with XRP, for example. So when XRP won its case against the SEC, what did it do? It pumped, and then after a few, I think it was after about a couple of weeks, it came straight back down into the channel it had been in all year. I've looked at the Ethereum chart, and I think it could do the same thing. But I'm now looking for news on why it would continue to move up. So obviously we spoke yesterday about it going above $2,000. I mentioned yesterday that there were some price targets for Ethereum, which I think were about 1850 and 1930. What are we at today? We're at 1970. So maybe we came down 1967. Well, okay, well, I think we were going to look at 1930, 1850. $2,000 is a very difficult price for Ethereum to hold. It has been in the past, and I think it will be in the future. So the BlackRock ETF application is the reason that this price absolutely pumped. But what's going to sustain that pump? The whales have been looking at it. Whales have been taking profits as well. Remember that. Whales are here to make money. They're not here to push the price up. They're here to manipulate the market so they get the most money from Ethereum, from Bitcoin, from whatever. Not all actions by whales suggest a bullish continuation. However, some whale investors have been unstaking their ETH and sending them to exchanges to lock in gains, a move that could be interpreted as a preparation for a potential downturn, which I still think we are looking at. Now it goes on to talk here about two different coins. So what we'll do, as I say, I'm trying to get through the news a little bit faster than normal today because I want to get to the quiz. I'm going to very quickly go and have a look at the Ethereum chart. Like I said yesterday, there's two price targets that I think we're going to come back down to, because I think it could follow the Bitcoin, the XRP movement that we've had. Now, I don't know if I've left the marks on the chart. Okay, so this channel is the channel that we were in, a game very similar to Bitcoin, and the price targets I've got here are 1930 and 1840, say. So close enough to what I've just said. Now, what I think has happened is, and again, I'm not going to spend too long talking about this. What we've seen with Bitcoin is Bitcoin was in here, it came up, it came down, it came up, and it's come back into its range, and it's been stuck in that range. Ethereum had a exacerbated pump because of the ETF news, but look, we are now starting to move in that direction. We're starting to move down again. Okay, so I think I mean, look at the volume. Look at where the volume is. It would make perfect sense to me to come back into this range, which is at 18. I'd say that the mid 1860s, 1870s. That's where I think Ethereum could end up in the next few days. There's no news on the horizon as far as I can see that's going to bring the price of Ethereum up. And the reason that 2000 is such a difficult area is you just have to look back over time. We can go back over here, you can go back over here. So $2,000 or near $2,000, 1980, 1990. $2,000 is the range that Ethereum struggles at. It just does. It struggles at 2,000 and it very rarely breaks out. So when we reached up here, I said at the time we needed to break this level. If we were going to do it, we needed to come up and then do this, and we didn't. What we did was we came to the nearest price that we thought historically Ethereum had got to, and then we've come back down again. And we've now spent a week coming down. So we've spent a week doing this, and I don't see anything to bring us back up. So I do see potential short-term corrections for Ethereum and a couple of other coins, but especially Ethereum. Now, let's have a look at the time. 11:23, and we're halfway through, so we are on time. We are on time. And we're going to look at Casper next. Now, like I say, I haven't really looked at Casper an awful lot. I don't like to follow trending coins because it just looks like we're chasing the pump, and we want to try and show you coins which are maybe not undiscovered gems, but coins which you could maybe look at to get in at a good price. So a good example of that is AVAX. We covered AVAX a few weeks ago, and we did predict some upward price action, and it's gone up a lot higher than expected. So there's the Casper chart. I'm going to look at this in a second once we've gone through the news. So Casper has surged 1,520%. Can it hit $1? Now, we're currently at 12 cents. So to hit $1, we're going to have to 8x from here, which is another 800%. I mean, these kind of articles are what's going to get you wrecked. We've talked in the past about nothing ever goes up or down forever. Nothing. Bitcoin at $69,000. People were buying Bitcoin at $69,000, thinking it was going to get to 100,000. If we got to 100,000, you'd have more people buying, thinking it was going to get to 200,000 or 150,000. This is what I was saying yesterday with Celestia. It doesn't matter where the price goes. It matters that you accumulate profits. Now, if you have bought Casper at 2 cents and we're currently sitting at 15 cents or 14 cents, you should be looking to take profits. The same with any other coin, because you want to accumulate profits for the pullback. So if Casper retraces to 8 cents or 7 or 9, whatever it might be, if it has a 20 or 30% retracement and you've sold half or 70% of your bag at huge profits, it then gives you the ability to buy back into this token or another token. That's the key. So Kaz is the latest altcoin to grab investor attention. The project reached its all-time high, surging 19% in the last 24 hours and 66% in a week. In the monthly charts, Kaz has surged by 90% and it's up 2,000% since last year. Absolutely crazy numbers. According to CoinMarketCap, the trading volume has surged 95%. These are people FOMOing in. Kaz's recent listing on the Korean exchange played a significant part in its price surge. The project also held an AMA session in Japan, boosting its popularity. Community members could engage with team members directly and ask questions about the project. Whether Kaz continues to rally or not is yet to be seen. What? I mean, come on. Really? Really? I mean, talk about sitting on the fence. You're going to make this article, Watch a Guru. You're going to say in your headline, can it hit $1? And then, I mean, it's such a cop-out. It's such a cop-out to put an article up like this and then finish with, well, you know, it might do. It might not. It might do. Well, I mean, come on. So as far as I can see, when you have coins like this, and we've looked at them in the past. We looked at, what was it called now? Blazelle. Blazelle absolutely shot up. I think Loom did the same thing. My opinion on these types of price action is very simple. I don't know if I'll be able to draw a fib. Hang on. That went terribly wrong. Again, I'm not doing too much on this. I just want to kind of maybe show. Hang on. Is that going to come down? There we go. Right, so if we take this as the absolute peak, you need to look for some area of resistance along the way, or something that you think Kaz could retrace to. And for me, that would be this area here, just by looking at it. Because look what happened. The coin came up and it found some resistance here. It came back down, found some support here, and has then shot up. So if you're holding Kaz, this is a sell the news comment now. And it's my opinion, it's not financial advice. And if you've held Kaz down here, in fact, we must have covered Kaz in September looking at this. So in September, we must have looked at this and have no idea what we were saying about it then. But as far as I can see, what I would expect to happen here is some kind of retracement down to 8 cents and then maybe sit in this range. That's what I would expect, because this is it's kind of a parabolic run. It's gone from 5 cents all the way up to nearly 15 cents. So it's 3x'd in 2 weeks. It's not sustainable. So my advice, if you do hold CAS, is potentially look to take some profits. And it doesn't matter if this goes up here or it comes down here. Take some profits. If you've bought CAS at any part of this range here, you should be taking profits now, irrespective of where it goes. Either take out your initial investment, which would give you about a third of your bags, a third of your position would come out. Take it out. Remember, you're not married to these coins. You don't owe these coins anything. They don't own you anything. If this price comes down to here tomorrow and you're crying that you've lost out because CAS had made you a 300% return, it doesn't owe you anything. You've got nobody to complain to. So it's a difficult thing to do, to take profits. But like I said with Celestia, taking profits is the way to generating wealth. Holding something. I mean, if a coin was doing this and you held a coin all the way through here and you bought here and you're holding it here, you've missed all that profit taking there. And that's the same for Bitcoin. It's the same for Ethereum. It's the same for everything. When the price breaks out, as this has done, take your profits. And again, like I say, if it goes to 25 cents tomorrow and you've sold a third of your bag, you've got 2/3 of your bag at 25 cents. But you've taken profits at 13 cents in case the price comes down. So that's all I'll say about CAS, because I don't want people to be left holding huge bags at huge profits. I mean, if you've only made 10 or 15% profit, only take a little bit. But for me, it's all about building yourself a portfolio, not just in one token. AVAX is the same. AVAX has shot up. So that's all I'm saying. So Avalanche has pumped 11% following the JP Morgan adoption as Bitcoin and Ethereum plummet. I mentioned this yesterday, and I found a decent article about it. So the reason for the pump in AVAX is, of course, that JP Morgan is going to use a side chain of Avalanche. And that's obviously bullish news, because what we want is people to start using these blockchains that are built, don't we? We want people to buy. We want people to buy into OP, Arbitrum, Polygon, AVAX. We want people to use these chains. And from my point of view, these kinds of deals where AVAX connect with JP Morgan, I mean, you don't get much better than that. So if we're going into it, the one thing that JP Morgan and a lot of these banks are trying to do as well is they are trying to create their own blockchains, kind of their own financial blockchains to work with. And I think it needed a connection between that and traditional blockchains. So if you look at Onyx, which was talked about yesterday, they were saying they were going to try and do, I think it was about $1 to $3 billion or $3 to $5 billion in transactions a day through Onyx. Those are the kind of things which will drive adoption of blockchain technology, but we want it to be adopted by using the existing blockchains that we have. Otherwise, we're going to have these zombie chains which nobody uses, because we need adoption and we need regulation, as I say all the time. And adoption requires financial institutions to use Link, Quant, XRP, AVAX, maybe even Solana. I know Solana has a lot of deals with Visa and MasterCard, for example. You need those kind of connections to bring everybody together. So while welcoming JP Morgan to its ecosystem, Avalabs, the foundation behind Avalanche, says the bank's latest move aligns with Avalanche's mission to offer tech and tools to tokenize and digitize real-world assets while taking advantage of the blockchain speed and customizability. And I think one thing to bear in mind is that we're talking about what's the next huge step for crypto and blockchain. And for me, it's bringing the stock market onto the blockchain. So rather than having the 9:30 to 4:30 NASDAQ trading platform, which is it's fairly archaic if you think about it. You can only buy the stock of a company between 9:30 and 4:30 in America. I mean, that's fairly archaic. A 24/7 blockchain-based stock exchange makes absolutely more sense than anything else, in my opinion. We've got the technology. You can do 24-hour banking. You can do 24-hour shopping, grocery shopping, whatever. But if you want to buy a stock, you can only do it for 7 hours of a day, Monday to Friday. You can't do it on a Saturday or a Sunday. So bringing the NASDAQ, bringing JP Morgan, bringing Goldman Sachs, bringing all the major institutions onto the blockchain means we could have a 24/7 stock exchange, which for me, great move. Now, last article. I am absolutely flying through this today to get to the quiz. And this is to do with something we've been saying on this channel for a long time. And that is that you need to make games which are playable, not games that make you the most money. You'll hear me say many times in the past that NFTs are cash grabs. NFTs are basically a way to separate you from your money as quickly as possible, and in return giving you a pretty picture of a rock. So for those of you asking for a red box, the reason I'm not dropping a red box is because if we get to the quiz, I can't start the quiz until the red box finishes. So if I drop a 10-minute red box for you, I can't start the quiz for 10 minutes. And I want to get to the quiz as soon as possible. And the quiz gives crypto away during the quiz. So I'll be cutting my own nose off to spite my face if I drop a box now. So if you hang on for about 3 or 4 minutes, we're going to start the quiz early because I haven't done a decent quiz for a long time. And it's a Friday, and I'd rather spend some time doing the quiz. I have just seen the chats on here. I do apologize. You're welcome, Hassan. Good morning, Tamana. Good morning, Bitcoin Guru. GM Sar, welcome. The red envelope I dropped at the very start of the show. And the reason I dropped it at the start of the show is I don't have a lot of crypto on that platform to give away. When I got the refunds back, I gave some out on the stream, not yesterday, the day before, and what was left I've given out today. But I gave it out at 11:02. So today I should get a deposit which will allow me to give away cash prizes. Hopefully tomorrow, being Saturday, we're live streaming tomorrow at 11 o'clock from the studio, which means you will get to see our beautiful faces tomorrow. I bet you can't wait to see that. But good morning and good afternoon to you all over there. So let's get through this article and then get on with the quiz. So Web3 should draw newcomers, not be a money grab from brands, tech CEO. And that was the Endeavor XR CEO, Amy Peck. The crypto industry should focus on building blockchain-based solutions everyone can benefit from instead of launching cash grabs for brands. Totally agree. Using Web3 and NFTs as just another money grab from brands to create another slate of multimillionaires doesn't seem like good work, nor a good use of what is an elegant technology. This is an infinite landscape. The money's going to be there, right? Let's build a better bread box. We have the opportunity to do something really interesting and reinvent this economic construct. Invite more people to the party, not just create another 1%. She acknowledged it's currently unrealistic for big brands to fully transition to Web3, but says there's already a Web 2.5 center lane. Providing consumers with more control and ownership over their data is already possible with the blockchain. A more transparent exchange is becoming more crucial than ever, particularly with the emergence of devices collecting data such as fingerprints and faces. What is coming with these immersive devices is biometric data that will allow the people who own that data to know more about us than we know, and the level of manipulation will be exponential. I totally agree with her. I think the one thing that really annoys me about NFTs especially is the fact that when they launch, you're basically giving $2 million to a project that has potentially spent $200,000 on building it out, building an advertising campaign, getting the NFTs produced, adding them to Magic Eden or wherever else it might be. So they're clearing $1.8 million in profit. And you've got to ask yourself, of that $1.8 million in profit, how much is going to go back into the project? And the answer, in most cases, is not a lot. Not a lot at all. And I think brands haven't really got to the point where they can understand that they can gamify the entire ecosystem to their benefit. And I say this all the time. I know I'm like a stuck record, but it's the best example there is. And that's coffee shops, which offer specific brands, specific prizes, flavors of coffee. You want to create FOMO. So if you're going into your coffee shop and you order your latte and the person next to you scans their phone and they get a pumpkin spice, ginger, Christmas, Black Forest, I don't know, latte, you're going to go, wow. And then that cashier says to you, oh, I'm sorry, this person's got the coffee shop NFT, and after so many coffees, they can then get these special flavors. Everyone in that coffee shop is going to get that NFT, and everyone in that coffee shop is going to feel special and like a VIP. And you can gamify it. So if you buy 100 coffees in a year, you get given a mug. If you buy 200 coffees in a year, you get a t-shirt and a baseball cap. But what you're doing is you're just selling more cups of coffee. Because why would I go to a different coffee shop when I can come here and I know that by Christmas, I'm going to have a new mug, a new baseball cap, and a new t-shirt. So exponentially, these coffee shops are going to go into competition with coffee shops that don't have this facility. You can apply this to anything. Football tickets, train tickets, everything can be gamified to the benefit of the brand, but the consumer also benefits. That's the key. They're made to feel special. If you travel on the same train every day and you get a season ticket, and as part of your season ticket, you get a free cup of coffee every day if you've got the NFT, it adds value, it adds utility, it gives you something to make you feel special. Give them a VIP cup, give them a cup that says VIP on it. That's the benefit. And what she's saying with the games as well is games are cash grabs. Games will launch, and to play the game, you need to buy a $50 or $100 NFT to play the game. Great. But I could go to the shop and for $70 buy Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto or a real AAA game for that money. Whereas I'm buying a small tiny dinosaur that can't do anything for $100 to play a game I might play for an hour. So they're all cash grabs. She's absolutely right. And I'm completely on her side with this. They need to do more. But what there needs to be, like Polygon are doing, there needs to be an intermediary who does all of this work for them. So Polygon have got deals with Disney, not Costa Coffee, Starbucks. They've got deals with AAA brands. They're doing all the hard work. That's the point of that layer 2, is to do all the hard work so that Costa Coffee or Starbucks or whoever just have to have a QR code scanner, which then automatically adds the points to that person's profile in their wallet, whatever it might be. So totally agree with that. And we're dead on time now to start the quiz. So before we start the quiz, we are going to say goodbye to one of our streaming platforms. Thank you for watching. We are back tomorrow at 11 o'clock. The rest of you don't go anywhere. I'm just going to put the stream on pause for a second while I turn off their stream.